Okay, I think we can start now. Thank you again for being here with us. My name is Alejandro Muñoz. I'm the Assistant Director for the External Affairs and Sustainability team based in Miami. And I work very closely with the slots team based in Geneva. Probably you know Arantxa Mendicoa from before. And I work very close with her in the region. And now I just want to make and to provide a very short overview on the recent engagement that we've done in the Caribbean as IATA, and based on the feedback that we've received from our members. And probably you of course are more than welcome to raise your hand, make any questions. On either way, we will have at the end of the presentation a short space also to do a Q&A. But as I was saying, I'm Alejandro Muñoz and I work in the External Affairs and Sustainability team. I'm originally from Colombia, and actually I'm delighted to have you all guys here in my hometown, Bogota. This is the first time after the 1980s that we are hosting a slot conference in the region, and we hope that is going to be the first of many more. So thank you for being here. Again, I'm from Bogota, so if you guys want to know a little bit more of the city, or if you want to know where to go eat or where to have a good party, just ask me. I can provide some good advice. And this presentation has the intent to review a short overview of the scheduled facilitation process in the Caribbean, as I was saying, and the recent engagement that we've had with specific airports such as Jamaica, the Santo Domingo, the Cayman Islands, Turks and Caicos, Aruba, the Bahamas, Bermuda. And just please also feel free, if you have any question on specific airports, to raise your hand or wait for the Q&A. So the first part of this presentation is going to be the regional overview. And we are going to focus on the economic recovery of the region. The Caribbean, of course, as you may already know, was very impacted after COVID. The pandemic took a very, very big hit on the region. And now we want to know, or what we want to show you here is how this recovery is going, how the recovery, not only in terms of passengers, but also in terms of routes, in terms of frequencies, and in terms of seats available in the region. So let's start with the oops, we lost it. But what we want to show you in this first part of the economic outlook is how the airline industry is recovering after COVID in the Caribbean. In 2019, we took a very good, very big hit, and we hope that in 2023, we know that in 2023 the market stabilized, and we get to have a stabilized market after more than 4 years, and we are expecting that 2024 is going to be the year where all the figures are going to be back as we had it before COVID. I mean 2019. And from 2024, we expect that this market is going to grow 4.2% per year. This is a great opportunity to grow. And we are seeing that the touristic interest in the Caribbean is growing. And definitely we see it as an opportunity to, of course, work together, work collaboratively with airports, with the facilitators, with the governments, in order to have an organized growth and an organized path for, of course, receiving all the operations in the Caribbean. So this was the slide that I was referring to. As you can see, from 2024, we will start to grow in a very steady level. And as I was saying, it will be around 4.2% per year. But if we go maybe and trying to just break it down per region here in the Latin America, North America, and the Caribbean, you will see that the North American region is, that the Caribbean region is leading the recovery. Unfortunately, North America and and Latin America, the Latin America, the routes have not increased, and North America, the frequencies are still below, and you can see also that the Caribbean has recovered completely. This is a great also result of the Latin America as a region, and the Caribbean as a region. Nevertheless, you will see that this is only the general presentation of the Caribbean. But if we break down even more the Caribbean, you will see that there are still some aspects of the market that we need to recover, to still recover and to work in the recovery. What is that? So as you will see in this slide, you can see that international market in the Caribbean is completely recovered, and actually we are now in a positive. However, in the intra-Caribbean market, we're still missing the recovery that we had in the international market. So we definitely are trying to work better in recovering the number of frequencies that we used to offer in 2019 and the number of seats that we also used to offer in 2019. These are still below. However, we also see that there are some announcements that are going to probably impact this recovery, the intra-Caribbean recovery, such as the announcement made by the Caribbean Airlines on the purchase of new aircraft and bilateral agreements such as the Cayman Islands Airways to Barbados and Virgin Atlantic inter-island flights between Barbados, Grenada, and St. Vincent. That's something that we consider it's going to boost intra-regional travel in the long and medium term. But if we continue trying to dissect even more these numbers, we will see that there are still some markets, some specific countries that are still lacking some numbers to get completely recovered. And those markets are the Bahamas, the Trinidad and Tobago, and Cayman Island. They are still, compared to 2019, the yellow line here is 2019, the blue line is 2023. And if we compare it with the current numbers in 2024, we see that these three specific markets are still lacking to recover their numbers completely. We are very, very close to recover them in the Bahamas. We are a little bit more closer to recover them in the Cayman Islands, but we are very far behind in Trinidad and Tobago. And if we study the demand and the capacity of the airlines to grow in these specific countries, we see that we need more capacity. Actually, airlines are receiving a lot of demand, and actually these countries are receiving a lot of demand, but the demand is far more higher than the capacity that is offered in these countries. So there is still a lot to do. And in this slide, what we want to provide is an overview on how the different, the capacity of each of the countries is currently. So if your country is below this 48.5 degree line, it implies that you have more demand than capacity, and you need to work on the capacity. And as you can see, the vast majority of the countries of the region is below the 45 degree line. And we need to work a lot more in the infrastructure. We need to work more on capacity. And that's something that we've been requesting as IATA to work together. We can work with the different governments, with the airports, with the authorities of the countries to improve these numbers and to try to have them as good as possible to respond to the growing demand. And as you can see, we have lots of opportunities for growth. This region is completely appealing to the airlines and to the passengers, of course, because airlines respond to the passenger interest. We are seeing that we have many opportunities to grow in the region. And as IATA, we are trying to work together and collaboratively with the governments and with the airports of the region. We have been asking actually for specific actions in the Caribbean to try to respond to the growing demand. Which are they? Well, first, we are asking them, you need to invest in an adequate infrastructure. And this is a point that we want to highlight in the Caribbean. You will see in the upcoming slides that it's not only to have better terminal infrastructure, we are also requesting to have better processes, better services provided by the authorities in the airport. So in that sense, it's not only to invest in the airport, but also to invest in services, processes, and probably technological resources. The second action that we've been requesting as AERA is to implement the use of regulatory best practices, and that's including the WASG. Given the growing demand of these airports, we are seeing also that these airports are being more congested. And as congested airports, we want them to be as familiarized as possible with the WSG, with the level 2 regulation, with the level 3 regulation. And we have been engaging, as I said before in the presentation, that we are meeting with the airports. We are engaging constantly with airports of the region to try to make them understand the importance of at least aligning with the calendar of activities, at least provide the opportunity for the airlines to understand with anticipation the capacity declaration of the airport. And also we are asking and requesting them to just try to attend the slot conference. For us, the attendance of the slot conference of the different airports is key, is very important, and actually we have right now some of the airports that operate in the Caribbean attending this meeting, which is, I believe, a good result of this of the engagement that we've done in this time, the recent time. The third action that we've tried to advocate in the countries, and it's a difficult point, but we've tried to request them to understand that we need to decrease the aviation-related taxes and charges. This is a government decision, and it is hard, but they need to understand, as you will see in the upcoming slide, that 90% of the tourism in the Caribbean arrives by air. So if you don't understand that and treat it accordingly, probably you will risk to lose that appealing result that you've gained with your touristic efforts. And finally, we are also trying to make make a good effort to have the countries of the Caribbean to understand that they need to lead the path for to produce the sustainable aviation fuel. We definitely consider that they have all the means, all the possibilities to start leading the policy, at least, to create a sustainable aviation fuel in the region. So that's something that we've been asking. I cannot say that we've been completely successful, but for the sake of the WSG and slots, I consider that all the efforts that we've been done have been very, very fruitful and very successful. So as I was saying, the 90% of the tourists in the Caribbean arrive by air, and the tourism sector plays a pivotal role in the economies of Caribbean nations. As you may imagine, so if 90% of the passengers arrive by air, well, the amount spent by the air travelers in the Caribbean countries is way higher than the amount spent by people arriving on cruises. That ratio is at least 11.5% higher spent by the air travelers than the cruise passengers, which is huge. However, and very ironically, the cruise passengers pay way less charges, taxes, and fees than the ones that have to pay the passengers arriving by air. And that's something that, of course, we want to advocate against. We're not saying just increase the taxes of the passengers coming from cruises. What we want to have is a fair treatment compared to other industries that also feed the passengers and the tourism in these countries. Mm, and this is important because also we want to highlight the importance of tourism as a whole in the Caribbean. As you can see, tourism has a deep impact in the economy of the countries of the Caribbean. We produce at least, and when I'm saying tourism, I'm not only referring to airlines. I'm also referring to hotels and to the other stakeholders that participate in this very important industry. But we, as a whole, produce 67 or almost 68 million dollars on the GDP of all the countries of the Caribbean. That means almost 12% of the overall GDP of these countries, and we also contribute with almost 3 million jobs in the Caribbean, which is also a very high number. It equals at least more than 15% of the whole capacity of jobs of the region. So this is also some important numbers that we highlight in our advocacy efforts to just try to advocate for the importance of having a fair treatment to the airlines in this particular region. And definitely, as I was saying before, we are advocating for better infrastructure. To continue supporting the economic figures in the Caribbean, airlines rely on efficient, safe, and affordable airport infrastructure to support their operations with transparent financial management and cost-effective infrastructure investments. We want to work closely with the airports and with the government authorities, as I've been saying before, to ensure infrastructure developments in the region meet the industry's needs. Aviation is a highly regulated global industry. This creates a requirement for regulatory harmonization to ensure efficient operations and avoid inconsistencies and duplications of cost and time. This lack of harmonization in the Caribbean is exacerbated by the proliferation of authorities and agencies that regulate different aspects of the aviation sector. For example, airlines operating in the Caribbean interact daily with many bodies. They are subject to regulation and oversight from 10 air navigation service providers, civil aviation authorities, airport authorities, border control agencies, and health authorities. This presents a level of complexity that is unique to the region. So, as I was saying, we need better infrastructure, we need harmonized and a lot more efficient systems to interact between the countries of the Caribbean and the airlines. And also, staying on the topic of infrastructure, the industry would also welcome prioritizing efficient operations through passenger facilitation. Growth in air connectivity could be achieved with more efficient border processes. Such measures would have positive implications for developing multi-destination tourism in the Caribbean. And IATA engaged with states, airports, and other stakeholders on behalf of its airline members to help them shape the global landscape for modernizing the travel journey, simplifying passenger processes, enhancing border security, and also, most recently, engaging and familiarizing the airports and the governments and helping the needs on the facilitation and coordination processes based on the WSG is critical for the industry. So all these numbers, all these words that I've said during these already 20 minutes, just to arrive to this specific slide. What are the current situation, or what is the current situation of the WSG in the Caribbean? And we consider that we are not, as IATA, we don't try to advocate for airports to implement or declare themselves as level 2 or as level 3 airports. What we want them to understand is that there is a tool, and if they want to use it to optimize their scaling processes, we are there for help. But even if they don't want to implement level 2 or level 3, there are specific issues that they can start to implement that definitely will help them optimize their operations. As I said before, one of those specific actions is to try to align with the calendar of activities. That's key for us and for airlines. That will allow them to just plan in advance and accordingly with their planning needs. And I'll go through these specific requests in more detail in the next slides. But what I wanted to say here is that Caribbean airports have also understood, that for us and for them, it's more efficient to be close to the airlines, to have a transparent communication, that to engaging with us and engaging with the airlines is key for just the efficiency of the operations as a whole. So we are very happy with this result. We've been engaging permanently with several of the airports of the region, and we will continue to do it. This engagement is basically weekly. We try to communicate with them. We try to follow up with them in the different aspects of the operation. And in previous to the season, it's very demanding, because we want to have all the airlines at least engaging also directly with the airport to try to make an efficient process of operations in the countries. So what we've done, what we've identified as priorities in these countries are, as I said before, align with the calendar of activities. Second, we want them to understand that to have a proper and opportune airport capacity declaration for each season is key. For that, we've engaged and we've facilitated some specific meetings with the airlines. The airlines have met with the different airports to understand the capacity, that declared capacity of that airport. And they have engaged also directly, and these meetings have been very successful because airlines had the opportunity, not at a local level. We had head of delegations participating with these airports, trying to understand why the capacity of an airport is the one that the airport declared, what are the works that the airport is planning, and how the airlines can also work collaboratively to make this operation more efficient. And finally, as I said before, we consider that the attendance of the slot coordination of the coordination teams of the different airports and the governments is key. And as I said also, we have, for example, the airport of Santo Domingo being here as a level 2, participating very actively with the airlines, and also, of course, having meetings to just facilitate their processes for the upcoming season. And we've had permanent collaboration with airports, and the list is just there in the slide. Please feel free to ask any questions of those airports if you have one. But also, we have identified that these airports have common issues. And the common issues are based on the capacity constraints that they suffer, mainly in specific times of the day and specific times of the season. And the seasonality is very important for these countries in the Caribbean. And actually, what we have identified is all the airlines want to arrive at the airport at a specific time where the check-ins of the hotels are open, and they want to leave when the checkouts of the hotels are closed. So it becomes very congested in specific times of the day. And also, of course, the long-haul flights are also using bigger aircraft. For example, the flights coming from the US or Europe, and they are using bigger aircraft with more people in there, or more passengers, and in that sense, the airport and the different authorities need to have a little bit more of support to attend these specific needs of passengers. We are still reviewing with certain countries the need to declare themselves as level 2 or even level 3. As I said, IATA is just trying to make them familiarize and socialize the importance of the WSG, but nothing concrete saying you are at level 2 or you need to declare yourself a level 2. We consider that this is a decision that needs to be taken by the airport or by the government, but we also know that's when once you are declared a level 2 or level 3, it become a little bit more efficient and more organized. So it's up to them. We are in the process to have more possibly airports declaring themselves as a level 2. Right now we have 4 airports declared as level 2, the Bermuda, Grand Cayman, Santo Domingo, and Turks and Caicos. But as I said before, probably we'll have more in the upcoming years. And that would be it. Just I want to thank all and everyone to have attended to this meeting. Please let me know if you have any questions. I want also to thank the different airports that we have been engaging with. They've been very open, they've been very transparent with us, and actually they've been very collaborative with us, with the airlines, and they have engaged also. Sometimes it's not us engaging with them, it's sometimes also them coming to us asking the different questions, and as you know, we are always open to have to respond to the queries. So please let me know if you have any questions. If not, again, let me know if you are interested on any site to visit in Bogota, restaurants, or whatever are your interests, and I'll be happy to help. Yes, please. And I have Arancha here too, also for helping me responding in case I...
Hi, I was just curious if there was any update on any of the Mexican airports like Cancun, Cozumel, or Tulum.
Yes, and actually that's something that I want to highlight. We have actually present in this slot conference the airport of Cancun. So they are here. It's the first time that they are attending to this meeting. Actually, they are also attending to the slots course that IATA provides during these type of meetings. And of course, you are more than welcome to try to meet them. They are acting as observers. And of course, we are working with them. It's a situation that needs a little bit of more engagement, and we are doing it. We are in the correct path. Actually, I want to highlight also the role that the slot coordinator from AFAC is also doing here. He's also playing a key and a pivotal role for us in making them understand the importance of probably level 2 or level 3, according to their needs, according to what they consider is a good approach. But we are working with them, and as I said, they're here, and they are probably will be happy to meet with you during this slot conference. What are the other airports? Cancun, Cozumel, and Tulum. Well, no, I couldn't say that we've been engaging with Cozumel. Tulum, we know the situation, and now that you mentioned Cozumel, we can definitely write it down and try to work with AFAC in the situation. And if you can provide us a little bit more information on those 2 specific airports, we will be happy to start acting and engaging with them. Yes.
Hi, I thought Aruba was becoming level 2 for winter.
Well,
is that the case?
No, I think that they are considering as a possibility. However, I don't think that they are going to be declared level airport for a level 2 airport for winter. What we are doing and what we are engaging with them is to again make them understand the importance of having the systems, having the messaging, having the engagement with the airlines and the airport capacity meetings. They have an internal regulation that they call the slots regulation. We've been studying that regulation, and actually we provided some comments to them. So we are working with them very collaboratively and very actively to have the best regulation possible once they become a level 2. But as of now, I cannot say that they are they will, as a fact, become a level 2 in winter. We are working with them to do it very fast because they already said that they are interested in doing so.